All right, so you have a video about your week 3 quiz. So I'm going over the grammar rules for the week 3 quiz. So you have to learn the difference between an adjective and an adverb. An adjective modifies a noun. A noun is a person, place, or thing. A verb is an action or a state. An adverb modifies a verb. So the handsome man dresses in a fancy suit. And so we use the word handsome because handsome modifies the noun, man. So whenever you have the blank in front of the verb, front of the noun, it is an adjective. So the answer to this is handsome because man is a noun and handsome is an adjective in a sentence. I was paid handsomely for this job. Handsomely is an adverb that modifies how well I was paid. Robert snored loudly. Is loudly an adjective or an adverb? The trick is to know that anytime you have a word that ends in ly, it is an adverb. Subject, object versus subject pronoun. A pronoun is the noun that replaces another noun. An object pronoun is a pronoun used as an object. Object pronouns are located after the verb. And so you would have, object pronouns are us, him, her, them, you, me, it. I didn't write the me in the it. So then subject pronouns is a pronoun used as a subject. Subject pronouns are located before the verb. So you would have I, he, she, they, we. So a subject pronoun is she gave us money. She is the subject pronoun. And then us, because it comes after the verb, now that's the object pronoun. And so us is an object pronoun because it comes after the verb. Possessive pronouns, his, hers, theirs, ours, yours, mine. So the book is yours. It's the possessive pronoun. There's no such word as your is, because when you have an apostrophe S, this is a contraction, which means is. So nobody talks like your is. So the book is yours. The demonstrative pronoun is when you point out a subject or where something is. This book, which is located near you, and it's singular. That book, it's located far away from you, and it's singular. Those books, located far from you, and it's plural. These books, located near you, and it's plural. So, in English, we do not say, this there house is old. Correct way of saying it is, this house is old. We don't say in English, that there beer is stale. The correct way of saying it is, that beer is stale. We do not say, them shoes are smelly. You can say, these shoes are smelly, those shoes are smelly, or even they are smelly. And the reason why we don't use them is because them, as you remember from our previous discussion, them is a object pronoun. Object pronouns always come after the verb. And here with them, the verb is are, and them is before the verb. So you know it's wrong. Okay. Never put an object pronoun before the verb. That just doesn't happen. When you have a comparative, you want to compare two things, and only two things. So you have John is smarter than Jan. Jan is taller than Steve. The words smart and tall all have one syllable. So then you would add ER. If the word has more than one syllable, then you would use more than, less than. The exception is better. We don't say Jack is more better at math. There's no such word in English as more better. And you would say the correct way of saying it is Jack is better at math than Steve. And we don't say Jack is less better. Same thing. Better does not take more or less. So here you have the word intelligent. So intelligent has 3 syllables. Intelligent, 3 syllables. So then if it has 3 syllables, if the word has 2 or 3 syllables, then we use more than and less than. So Steve is more intelligent than Jack. Jack is less intelligent than Steve. And these are all comparatives where you're comparing 2 things. A superlative is when you compare more than 2 things and you're comparing these 2 things to a group of people or to the world or to a class. So John is the smartest student in the class. So you're not just comparing John to Jack, all right? You're comparing him to an entire group of people. Then we use a superlative. Jack is the dumbest student in the class. The Eiffel Tower is the prettiest monument in the world. So when you just have 1 or 2 syllables, we use EST as for the superlative. But if the word has 3 or more syllables, then we say least or most. Okay, so Jack is the least intelligent student in the school. Robert is the most intelligent student in the school. So once again, we're comparing that person to an entire group of people or to the whole world. You could say Jack is the most intelligent student in the whole world, okay? An antecedent is a noun that the pronoun replaces, and an antecedent always agrees with the pronoun. So in this sentence, Jack is a smart man. He reads books every day. So Jack, the word Jack is the antecedent. And so your pronoun has to agree with it. So if you have as an antecedent Jack, then you have to have Jack is the antecedent and he is the masculine pronoun that agrees with the antecedent. The pronoun has to agree in gender and quantity to the antecedent. Jack and Jill went up the hill. They walked a lot. Plural antecedent takes a plural noun pronoun, they, because you have 2 people, Jack and Jill. So Jack and Jill, those are the antecedents because that's the pronoun, that's the noun that the pronoun replaces. And so typically the antecedent comes before the pronoun. That's why ante in Latin means before. Cedent also means coming before something. And then the pronoun is a noun that replaces another noun. And so Jack and Jill, they. So if I were to say Sharon, you would say she. If I say Steve, you have he. And so the antecedent and the pronoun always has to match. After a comparative, you have a subject pronoun. And so you would say, Veli plays piano better than I or me. So you cannot say, Veli plays better piano than me. You have to say, Veli plays better piano than I. The do is understood because the totally correct way of saying it is, Veli plays better piano than I do. Jack plays worse golf than John and Jack. Oh, that should be some other Jack. Oh well. All right. Jack plays worse golf than they do. Once again, subject pronoun. And so as a review, what's a subject pronoun? Subject pronoun, it comes before the verb. It's I, he, she, they, we, and I. And I just said that already, didn't I? So that's it. That's all. That's the review of the grammar rules of for this week 3 quiz. And everything in the week 3 quiz has something to do with pronouns. That's the main theme of the week 3 quiz. And you have adjective versus adverb, object versus subject pronoun, possessive pronoun, demonstrative pronouns, comparative versus superlative. And you can find all of these rules I put into your announcements under more week 3 prep. So if you want to see these rules and print it out and study it, then you can be ready. You'll be ready for your week 3 quiz. All right, so then the next thing I want to do is go to another page. I should have put it all on one page. All right, so I'm going to stop share for a moment. Let's see. And have a new share. Hope this works. Okay, new share. And this is the practice quiz. Oh, there it is. All right. So I'm going to make sure that we're recording. So I will continue to record. Hold on. Let me go to more. And all right, we're still recording. Okay, I just wanted to make sure we're still recording. So this is a week 3 practice quiz. So remember that you had to know the difference between an adjective and an adverb. And I already told you that an adverb is always a word that ends in ly. So here you have an adverb, ly. The cleaner was very abrasive or abrasively. Abrasive means something that cleans very harshly. And so abrasive, you have to ask yourself, what is abrasive or abrasively modifying? The cleaner. The cleaner is a noun. And so therefore the answer is the cleaner was very abrasive. He cleaned the table. So this one, abrasively, because abrasively modifies how well he cleaned it. Now, if I wanted to use the word abrasive, all right, I would say the abrasive cleaner. And so typically, at least in this quiz, the adverbs tend to come after the verb. That doesn't always happen because adverbs can come in any place in the sentence. That's a different lesson. But trick for this quiz is that if the blank is after the verb, it's typically an adverb, ly. And if the blank is before the verb, before the noun, it's typically a adjective. So here the bird chirped loudly because chirped loudly modifies how loudly it chirped. And then here you have the loud bird keeps me awake all night because loud modifies bird. Jack takes his work very seriously because seriously modifies how hard he worked. Jack is a serious worker because serious modifies worker. John had the most handsome clothes in the class. This is a superlative because we're comparing it to a whole group, more than 2. Jack is more handsome than Scott. More handsome is a comparative. When we're comparing 2 things, then it is a comparative, more handsome. Philip is a nice man. What part of speech is Philip? Is it a subject, verb, or object? Philip is the subject of the sentence because it comes before the verb. It's just like the subject pronouns, he, she, they, and we. Philip is a nice man. I should have put the man in there. So Philip is a nice man. So nice is an adjective that modifies man. Paul's clothes is more handsome than John's clothes. Once again, we're comparing 2 things, Paul and John. Therefore, you use more handsome Then. Another trick too is the word than. Okay, if they put the word than in there, it's a dead giveaway. It's a comparative. More than, less than, those are all comparatives. We never use that there map is out of date. Okay, we always use that map is out of date. We never say that their shoes are old. We say those shoes are old. And we never say them apples spoiled, and we never say them there. We never use an object pronoun before the verb spoiled. Always use a subject pronoun before the verb. So they spoiled due to humidity. Martha bought me a car. Is me a subject or object pronoun? Me is an object pronoun because it comes after the verb. Is Martha a subject or object pronoun? Actually, Martha's not a pronoun at all. That's a mistake. Okay. Well, anyway, Martha is the subject of the sentence. It's not even a pronoun. Okay, it should be she bought me a car. I'm going to have to fix that. Okay, the clothes that Laura gave my sister and me are very old. So notice that this sentence uses the correct object pronoun. After the verb, we use gave. And then after the verb, you use me as the object pronoun. So here, if it's after the verb, it's an object pronoun. The bird chirped loudly. Didn't I just have the bird chirp loudly? That's a mistake. Okay. Anyway, forget about that. Are these seats yours? Yours. So we already know that the proper form of a possessive pronoun is his, hers, yours, theirs, mine. So we don't use yours. That doesn't exist in English, actually. And nobody says yours is. Apostrophe S is a contraction that means he is, she is, that sort of thing. So yours. Are these seats yours? And because this is possessive pronoun, then the correct answer is yours. These seats are not mine. We don't use mine. My is also a subject pronoun, a subject possessive pronoun. We use the object possessive pronoun. These seats are not mine. Those seats are his or he's. All right, he stands for he is. So that's the wrong, obviously that's the wrong subject. That's the wrong response. So the answer is his, because his is the possessive pronoun. Another clue is that the word he is always at the beginning of the sentence, usually before the verb, because it's the subject. It's a subject pronoun. He is a, Professor Ho is a great instructor. We could not ask for a better teacher, because best is when you are comparing to everybody. Better is when you are just comparing it to two things. Professor Ho is the best instructor in the school. Then you are comparing it to an entire group, you use a superlative. Jennifer is the worst boss at the school. So we use worst because worst is the superlative form. Same thing here. Jennifer is a worse boss than Grace. And we use worse than because we are comparing two people. So whenever we're comparing two people, we use comparative, we use worse. Veli plays piano better than, is it me or I? So whenever you have a comparative, you have to have a subject pronoun. So Veli plays piano better than I do. So the answer to this is subject pronoun, I. The mother gave her or she money. The mother gave her money because you have a verb and then after the verb, her is an object pronoun that comes after the verb. Object pronouns tend to come after the verb. You don't say, her gave she money. And so if you wanted to replace the word mother, you would use she. Okay? So the correct answer to this is the mother gave her money. And another way of doing it is just say it out loud. Does it sound right to say the mother gave she money? And you would say to yourself, especially if you're a native speaker, you go, wait a minute, that doesn't sound right. Okay. And if you're not a native speaker of English, then you just have to memorize the rule. Object pronouns come after the verb, and object pronouns are like his and her, me, him, and them. And then subject pronouns come before the verb. That's he, she, we, they. I actually remember learning that in elementary school. Okay, so yeah, even Americans had to memorize all of this in elementary school. So that therein ends this recording. If you have any questions, you can always email me. For instance, if you have a grammar question, you say, Yvonne, I still don't understand the difference between an adjective and an adverb. Can you give me some more examples? And then I can give you some examples in my email. Or, Professor Ho, I don't understand the difference between a superlative and a comparative. Can you explain that again? That sort of thing. So if there are some elements of this you don't understand, because I know it looks so complicated once it's all mixed in together in a test, but it's all really very easy. And if you know the rules and you practice a lot, you'll do really well on this quiz, even if you are not a native speaker of English. All right, so email me if you have any questions about this video or about the week 3 practice quiz.